The recording. All right, so welcome again to another edition of our virtual Fireside Chat. We have been having these Fireside Chats every 2 weeks, I think, for the last couple of months. And this afternoon, we're privileged to be hosting Brother Patience Fuzane. So funny story, Brother Patience and I went to the same church, sang in the same choir, sang in the same quartet, but we didn't know each other. We just missed each other by a few months or a few days. So we share a lot of history from kind of where we came from and the circles that we grew around. So I would like to start by Brother Fuzane, just tell us who, we know you as Pat, right? But I'm sure there's a science behind that shortcut. You tell us your full name and where you hail from and how the Lord has led you to this point in your life.
Sure. My name is Patience Fuzane. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Patience Fuzane, full name. So in the valley it's called Mbegezeli, but we had a pastor, Pastor Malava, who named me Patience in translation and then paid $5 ulikunga so that the name can stick. And now I'm using only Patience, not Mbegezeli.
Okay.
Yes, but Patience because I'm number 10 and the only son. So my father and mother waited for the 9 girls before they got me. So they were patiently waiting for me to come. That's why it's like, well, it's kind of a girl's name, but in Zimbabwe, it is good for both boys and girls. So yes, but here I call it Pat so that it sounds more masculine.
Okay.
I went to Donsa Elementary School. It was initially owned by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, but after the war, they let go of some schools and Donsa became a school under the council, city council, rural council, And then after that, I went to Loagolo Mission 1987 to 1990. And then to Chaplin 1991 to 1992. That was when I was singing in the group that you sang at Seventh Street Adventist Church. And then from there, I went to GTC. And then I taught in schools like in Hlangano, Malisa High School, then Maun Secondary School in Botswana. That one was 1996 to 1999 January before migrating to America. So in America, I kind of did some teaching at the elementary school, Grant Elementary. And then at the time I was also going to school and working in group homes as everybody would have done at the time. And I graduated with my bachelor's in computer science. And then later on, I went back to do master's in MBA in cybersecurity, master's in business administration with a special emphasis in cybersecurity. So with that, I was able to lecture at ITT Tech, as well as at San Bernardino Community College District. So I was teaching programming, networking, and cybersecurity. And then I ended up moving to San Luis Obispo. It's a little town or county central of California between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Out there, I was working as a cybersecurity engineer, doing what they call FIPS 140-2 stuff, which was a lot of encryption and decryption for federal government modules, like anything that needed to be encrypted, whether it's an iPhone or anything that we were validating it, making sure it met the requirements. After that, I started my own business, a school it was a boot camp for programming. It didn't really get many students, but I did teach a few. And then I figured out to survive, I needed to go back to work. That's when I went to work for the Navy in Ventura County. So it's called Navy. Navy is a long word when you describe them. So it's a DoD Navy Surface Warfare Center. We're dealing with ships. So surface means we're on the water surface, we're not submarine, we're not air. So that saw me traveling between different states across America, Virginia, Florida, and then here in California, San Diego, then Japan, Yokosuka, which they call Yokosuka, Yokohama, and Tokyo, all doing auditing of different ships, making sure they were ready for war, especially in Japan, because that is Fleet 7, which is a very volatile region, which we are protecting as America. Then I switched to do Navy Air Force. So now from the surface of the water to the Air Force. But this one was a little bit challenging. It required that I get cleared for top secret clearance. So that meant I had to be interviewed a total of 6 hours. My friends, relatives, neighbors, classmates, at least 1 hour each, being interviewed thoroughly to make sure that they knew me.
Oh.
And in the process of being interviewed, they were actually also checking them, like to see what kind of people they are that I'm associating with. Because with that, I can only travel with permission. Even going to Canada or to Mexico, I have to let them know I'll be in Mexico, I'll be talking to so and so, I'll be in this address, and then I'm coming back on this day. So it's not too free. Like when I was going to go in May to get my wife from Zimbabwe, I had to get permission to stop in Dubai. So there to ask for permission from the fleet control that is in Dubai to see if they are able to cover me if there was need. And there's 3 permissions that they to get: the country permission, which is UAE, Arab Emirates, and they also to get the permission from the fleet, the Marines there, and then the other one is called theater. I don't know what that was. That didn't really give me permission, but I ended up having to travel anyway. So because UAE has some, you can find terrorists, so that was a little bit scary to go there, that they could kidnap or something. But that being said, I am not I'm not CIA, I'm not FBI, I'm just an information system security officer for the Navy or for the Air Force. Well, I do feel humbled because the former president's son-in-law tried to get this clearance 3 times. He was failing until his father-in-law, who was the president at the time, intervened to say, give him, I need him to advise me. So I felt like that was really an honor to be given that, and to be able to travel with 2 passports that what represent America. One is just to say Africa, but this business one is the one that we have to use when we are going on government mission, and that doesn't require any visa. We can line up with the pilots, commercial pilots, so that we don't stand in the line. No removing of shoes, nothing. So that part of it is really humbling. And so is the job also very humbling. There's nothing that is hidden for me right now, as long as I prove that there's need to know. So I have to have specific cards that allow me to open, to go. I'm in my office, so that's why I have all these things with me. But I have to have some of these cards, which some of them don't have names, because if they fall and somebody picks them up, they will know what to do with the card. So they access what we call secret network, CIPRA, secret internet, something. So yeah, that being said, my traumas when I was a young kid in high school. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, what a story, Brother Fuzane. Now, did you know when you were talking about high school, when you were at Logos, when you were at Donza, did it ever occur to you that God has this mission waiting for you? How did it all come together? How do you feel now compared to, kind of where you came from?
I never dreamt of America. We would think of maybe going to UK if ever that happened, but so it never was in my dreams. Though during the war, I was too young to join, but I wanted to really go and fight for Zimbabwe to a point that my mother would have nightmares thinking that, dreaming that I was crossing over to go to Zambia for training or to Mozambique. So I had also wanted to work for Zim Alloys, Railways, or where I would wear steel toe boots and a helmet. So God put that all together, because when we go into ships, we wear steel toe boots, helmets, and some gear to make us ready for a hazardous environment. And then to work with the military, especially the fighter jets, I still am traumatized by them, especially when they are zooming past. I see them taking off, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then as soon as it breaks the zoom, the sonic boom, when it goes beyond the speed of sound, the ground shakes and everything just gets so noisy, and I'm traumatized again. So I've been asking the management to see. I mean, I haven't really made the request formally, but I've been saying it louder and louder that I need to take a ride in one of them so that I won't fear them anymore. But I don't know if I will pass out because that thing is so fast and I'm not into roller coasters. So.
Wow. So with your line of work, all the intricacies, all the details, you're surrounded by armed personnel and fighter jets. And have you seen the hand of the Lord in protecting you in what you do?
Yes, because like for example, we are not searched when we drive into the base. Anybody can walk in with a gun, other than the guns that we already know are carried by our military people. Anybody can come and do damage, So you live in such an environment because we are in the sea range. So that means we do test our weapons on daily basis, and you hear all these sounds. Next time you don't know if somebody is actually going rogue and firing people, shooting people in the base or on the base. So that part of it, you always want to pray. And secondly, I have hardly come across Seventh-day Adventists at my job. Not saying they're not there, they are there, but they are so few. So much that I see a mission, though we are not allowed to preach at work, but I see a mission, and mostly because I'm vegetarian and I've been one since 1997, August, I always influence them through my food. Whoever sees me during lunch, or they always talk, wow, you don't eat so much sugar, you don't eat this and that. Wow, what do you really eat? And then I speak from there, and they kind of try to use the health ministry as a way of reaching out to them.
Wow, that is powerful. This is the first time that I've met a man in the military who is vegetarian. So thank God for your ministry. And as you are a busy man, Brother Fuzane. Most people are busy, but you are really busy. Your type of work allows you to be in confined spaces, in protected spaces. What has empowered men's ministry meant for you? You have been a member of this ministry for a long time. Where do you find time to do this, and why is this ministry important to you?
It is important because as men, we have issues. So, and men, we don't talk. So men's ministry is helping us hear from other men. I was listening to Dr. Mvundura's presentation last week, and I learned quite a lot. I've listened to many other presentations. One memorable one was from Vusangwenya, when he was talking about when to know that you are ready to start your own business when people are relying on you so much. So because one time when we were in San Diego, I once mentioned that to the men's ministry that we have so many contracts to give away. So many. I mean, on daily basis, there's an email saying $7 million was offered to this company, $10 million, $1 billion to Raytheon, all this. And as men's ministry with so much talent, I see that if we can combine one of these days, see what strengths we have, we could make up a company that can contract with the federal government. Simple things like they need accountants, they need front desk people, they need even janitors, they need truck drivers sometimes because we have merchandise, we have trucks to be moved around and all that. So if we were to come together as men and form up a company, because we cannot do it alone, they won't listen. Mostly the smallest companies I've seen are 3 people. And the strength of us being Black is minority. If we had somebody who is active duty, that also helps. But also my being there can help with time, though I don't know if I can do both, that I can be a civilian employee as well as a contractor. But that I think men's retreat can benefit from if God leads us in that direction.
Wow. Well, we are going to be opening it up to the men to have any follow-up questions. And I wanted to turn to, you are so passionate, Brother Pat, about men combining and doing something bigger than ourselves. And we talked earlier on about your heart. You are here in America, in California. Your kids are here, your family is here, but you are still trying to do something for Logos. Tell us what Logos is and what it means to you.
Sure. So Loakwelo Mission is an Adventist secondary school. The history of Loakwelo Mission, I don't know if I can share this. Let me see.
Yeah, you want me to try? I can try and see if I can share that.
Because I am in it right now.
Okay.
This new technology, I tell you. Are you able to share? That can help if you do.
Let me try. Yeah, I will try to pull it up as you talk.
Okay. So Loakwelo Mission was founded in. So let's begin from Solusi. We had a team of pioneers there. One of them was the FB Armitage family and his wife. So they
on a mute, Fuzane, you're on mute, we can't hear you.
sorry.
You are back on mute. There you go.
Hold on, I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will move my headphones. So Loakwelo was Somapula in 1901. They moved from Solusi, the Armitages moved to Somapula and started a small school there with 8 students. And then those students were baptized that same year. And by the end of the year, the number grew to 30 students. But the Armitages had to go back to South Africa because of the malaria. You know, Zimbabwe has malaria and mosquitoes there. So they went to South Africa, leaving Mr. W.C. Watson and his wife. So they continued in Somapula for some time, but they couldn't purchase the land because it was set aside as a reserve land. So they found another place in Loakwelo. 34 kilometers away from Gweru, going towards Maboleni, which is west of Gweru. That was in 1923. And then from there, they were able to change the school from just being a primary. Okay, I see the slide. You can move further forward with the slide. Yes, that is the history there. So the school changed from being a mission farm in 1929 to being a government-approved teacher training institute. So what you see right now on the slide is the old Somapula complex. So that was where the first building was. But then if you go up a little bit, you see the new administration block. It's not the new one, but that's what people know of Luagwelo Mission, the yellow and dark building there. Yes, that one is the administration that many people know. So the teacher training went back to Solusi, and Luagwelo remained as a secondary school in 1948. 1952, the teacher training went back to Solusi in 1952, somewhere there, if I'm not mistaken. So everything used to be fine in Luagwelo Mission in terms of water, everything. If you move on to the next slide, you get to the first image where we are talking about our situation at hand. Right. So this is an old bush pump mounted on a well that is about 8 meters deep. It's not enough to supply. Actually, it is dry as I'm talking right now, because every time in summer, in winter, the water drops below 14 meters. So this well is only 8 meters deep. They have 5 of them, which are just 8 meters shallow, not deep. And then they are not supplying any water right now. If you go to the next one, you see the other type of the well right there. Yes. So that one is electric powered, but it is failing ever so often because of the issue with electricity. As you know how Zimbabwe is with electricity. And then also because there's not enough water, so they don't have enough water to be pumped. If you go to that one, there is the JoJo tank that is being supplied by this faulty borehole. So to alleviate the problem, the next one also will be a slide showing the borehole. I'm not sure if that's the boys' dorm or it's the girls still. Those tanks are usually empty because there's not enough water to fill them up. The following one will be an image of the borehole. That is just a borehole. If you go to the next one, yes, right there. So this is the second borehole because they have 2. The one that is a bush pump one, and then there's this one which they just drilled in March. They drilled it in March, so the water table was at 14, but they went to 70 meters anyway. Then they ran out of money. So it is just that little thing you see, no submissive pump, no JoJo tank, no solar system or electricity to pump the water to a tank. So it's just waiting to be equipped with time. We might ask, why then are we not inheriting this project instead of trying to donate money? This is located on the backside of the old admin, is targeting the agricultural section. Is far from the dormitories and the dining hall. So it would be better to keep this one as it is. But if our raising of the money is good enough, we can help them with a JoJo tank, a submissive pump, and a solar system to power it. The next slide is just to demonstrate the issues that Luagwelo is facing. So this is the bigger picture of the issues. 6 years ago, the school was burnt down. I mean, the dining hall was burnt down. That included the kitchen. So this is the remainder of the pots. So they tried to to serve it, to refurbish it, but it is not doing the job as it used to. These are called oil jacket pots. In between them, there's oil, like it's a 2-layer system where you have the oil circulating between the layers, the metals in the pot. So when the electricity heats up, it hits the oil and then it cooks that way. Maybe some other secondaries are like that, that were built in the past. But these pots are still available. They cost about $7,000, and they need maybe 4 of them. Not yet our project, but if God blesses us, we can reach there maybe. Because right now, the next picture will show you the makeshift kitchen that is literally firewood and a very old type of an oven that is meant to power the kitchen as it is right now. The next one will show you the dilapidated dining hall tables. Really, these, I sat on them myself in 1987. My sisters who came before me sat in them as well. So they are quite old. I don't know how people get appetite on those tables. The church is the next slide, where the desks that were, the pews, the benches that were put in during the war are still the same ones that the kids are sitting on right now. I think they're even worse, because when I sat on them in 2019, I wasn't comfortable at all. So that's another situation to show that there is need at this school. The last picture that you see is the Lower Gwelo Mission Gate. This also was another project that was tried but failed to take off. They wanted to improve that gate so that it looks a little bit more modern, like you know, some of the institutions that we go to, there's a gate where the security guy has a little place to hide during the rain. That project was tried by some students, it didn't really gain much traction. The dining hall project was also started, but didn't gain much traction. So this is a challenge to us as the men, that we can come up with something that will go through. It was started by the class of 1990, which I'm part of, and then it was extended to other classes. But then, because people are short-handed, it was expanded to everybody. And this is a chance for us as men in America, men in Canada, men in UK, Australia, men in diaspora, in short, to do something for God that can help other people. I was looking at how many people are in our team in the EMM, Empowered Men's Retreat, or I don't know the full name, what we call it, but there's at least 130 of us. And I was calculating, if we gave $50 each, that means we would have 6,500, if I'm not mistaken. 50 times 130. Yeah, I think that's about $6,500. That would be more than what we need for the borehole. And that would be even more because there are people who are non-alumni, and most of them who have raised, I know one donated 500, somebody 200, and so on. And then we have some of our alumni that have chipped in too. I want to say thank you to everybody. And the plate is open as the Lord and the Spirit of the Lord moves you and me and everybody to donate. We have much transparency. And another thing, because of my job, the nature of my job, I have to explain every unexplained richness or poverty. So I have this much obligation to be careful with people's monies. So as long as the monies are channeled in a way that, as I'm part of the channeling of these monies, there's no way it can go wrong, because that means I'm losing even my job. If I get a ticket that is more than $300, I have to tell the government that I got a ticket, and they have to see that. So that is the constraint I have with my job, and people should actually feel free to donate, knowing that the monies will reach the destination. There's so much transparency, also added by the Empowered Men's Group, that they have their treasury monitoring the monies that come in, and the report is given with every full name, so that accountability can be kept at its best. I think I've said too much for now. I would let the chairperson take over.
Thank you, Brother Fuzane. Wow, what a powerful story. Most people in this ministry know about Lower Gweru Mission, or Logos. It's a major Adventist institution in the central part of Zimbabwe. And as Brother Pat Fuzane has said, this is an empowered men's ministry sponsored event. Brother Fuzane came to the executive committee, requested permission to seek funds through this ministry, and this is something that we fully support. As Brother Pat says, our treasurer is also involved in making sure the funds that are collected go to where they are supposed to reach. So there's full transparency there. And of course, Brother Pat, your job is another additional measure of transparency as well. Wow, thank you so much for this opportunity for us to help. I was calculating, Brother Pat, you said if men in this ministry were able to give $50, and I calculated it's $1.66 per month. I apologize, $1.66 per day. If you could put together $1.66 per day in 30 days, you have $50. And that's what Brother Pat and the children at Logos, thousands of people within that community, will benefit from a safe source of water and all the other challenges that they have. I want to open it up to the group. Gentlemen, if you have any questions for Brother Pat. Brother Pat, whilst we're waiting for questions, with the nature of your job and how busy you are, how do you relax after a long day's work?
Good question. Yeah, my headphones are interfering because I have two audios going on. Thanks to the EMM fitness team, so I take part in the exercise activities, like either just walking, doing push-ups, I also participate in singing. So on weekends, I do find a spare time to do music. I have a quartet, but it hasn't been singing in a long time right now. But yeah, I have some recreation activities to keep me sane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Gentlemen, I want to open it up to anybody who has a question for Brother Fuzane. Brother Pat shared with us his background, his upbringing, patience is his full name is. His parents waited for, after the 9th kid, they finally got a boy. So that's how the name Patience came about. So I want to open it up to you, gentlemen. Do you have any questions for Brother Pat? Questions, comments, thoughts? All right, and as we wait for those, go ahead, Brother Macheme. Mabika, sorry. I saw wrong.
Okay, so sorry, I kind of joined in late, but I missed the part. I missed the part about your high school days. I understand you were a head boy at one time or another.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So, anyways, In my capacity as having taught at Lower Guero for a number of years, I would like to highlight the potential that Logos has. In the days we were there, Lower Guero did reach for the sky. In fact, in terms of results, for a number of years, we were actually on top of the world in terms of Midlands. We achieved the best results in Midlands, and we did achieve a lot of milestones during those days. And I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Fuzane, because this is all in an attempt to place Lower Guero where it belongs by highlighting the problems that are there right now. And those problems, we cannot run away from the fact that the performance of the school is being hampered by problems like that, and we would like to be a part of that success. And Lower Guero is my passion because I was born in the Lower Guero area, by our farm. So it's not that I only taught at Lower Guero, but I have a very strong background and a strong bond with Lower Guero, the entire community. Even if I were to go there right now, I know a lot of the community members. And I would like to encourage us as Empowered Men's Ministries that this is a really worthy cause, and anything we can do will really come in handy. And Brother Fuzane just puts up like the minimum contributions that we're looking at, but those who are able can really help this cause in a big way. Thank you all.
There was a question that one of my elders asked me some time back when I reached out to him personally for funds. The question was, can't the alumni do this alone? And then I pointed out that secondary schools and primary schools are in the bottom of the food chain in terms of alumni, because all of us pass through high schools and then we spend another 4 to 8 years before we can actually become financially stable, before we can get professional jobs. So in the meantime, when we do that, we have universities, colleges asking us for money because they are now our closest alumni institutions. So secondary schools are being neglected in that way. And this is a chance for us to really, I mean, I could do something for Castel San Bernardino, but they're already rich, I think. They are in America, they are well up. But our schools back in Africa really need us.
Powerful. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Fuzane, and thank you, Brother Ron.
Yes, taking it up further, you discover there are guys like Nigerians and the Filipinos. They really support some projects back home, and they are developing their schools in a big way. And like I said, our local alumni in the US, they don't need that money. We need the money back home. And that would be my priority. And when a need has been identified like that, it is important and duty calls that we jump in and we join in.
Thank you, Elder Mabika. Yes, go ahead, Brother Kenny.
I am one of the Logos alumni, and I'm glad to join my alumni teams. Though nobody ever reached out to me, I've got some millions that I am just ready to help. So get in touch. No, just joking. Right. I wanted to say there is a tendency for us to give donations. Donations, in the end, sometimes are not sustainable because you can't continue to donate for an institution to run. Have you ever thought of running sustainable, productive business to support the school, which can be sustainable in the long term, rather than us getting them the fish? Why don't we give them the rod and teach them to fish? We can run a chicken program, a chicken project that can raise money with us having put just a little money, but it will be able to run all the projects in 3 years, 4 years. It will be able to finance all those other projects, and it's sustainable in the long term. We hire a professional, agricultural professional, agri-tech professional to run the projects. And there's no shortage of demand for eggs and chicken, no shortage of demand for cabbages and tomatoes in the cities. There's no shortage for projects. I recognize that you call for the water. Water is like an emergency thing, but it will be good for us as a way of donating to donate for the water project. But we must think long term so that the school can be self-sustained. When the white people started these institutions, like Solusi, Nyazura, Lower Gwelo, they had self-sustaining projects where even kids who had no school fees could work in the school and raise their own school fees. But we have neglected that part of the Adventist, the missionary culture. As a result, we keep on begging and begging forever. It's something that I want to put in the plate as the driver for this thing to think about.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brother Mslang. I think you made a very strong point that we can do both, right? If your brother is stuck at a traffic light, what he needs is a jump start, right? And then after he's jump started, then you can talk about how do we replace the motor or how do we replace the engine. So your point is well made that we need both, a jump start so that we can get the water situation under control. But I totally agree with a long-term sustainable plan for further development projects. Powerful insight. Any other thoughts, comments? Yeah, go ahead, Brother Pat.
Yeah, definitely. That is in the pipeline. As soon as water is reinstated, there is going to be agriculture and irrigation as it used to be before. When I went to school, I did agriculture. I got a B on it. Should have done better. And there was carpentry, there was a poultry. I mean, agriculture is poultry, everything. So we actually raised, we had our own wheat, our own fruits, the orchard. We had our own corn, umumbu maize. So we even baked our own bread. I didn't mention the oven in the things that were destroyed by the fire, but they lost the oven, and that one is about $13,000 in South Africa. We can get a refurbished one for about 10,000, which is powered with paraffin. So somebody that I know works in the bakery system in South Africa that they can actually do that part. So yes, there are projects that can be done to make Lower Gwelo self-sustaining, but the water is the main one that can get them going.
Powerful, thank you. If you have a question, gentlemen, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question. All right, whilst we waiting for any further comments or questions.
I think our questions will mainly revolve around the project that we have mentioned.
Yes.
Is there an alumni group or association that one can join and contribute? And how is the structure for fundraising? We don't know how this thing is structured. Who is the main driver?
So if you check on the EMM chat, there is information about how this project emanated and how to channel funds to this project. But I think your question could be outside of this fund collection process. Maybe something that Brother Pat, you could reach out to Kenny and
Yes.
kind of show him how to become a member of that alumni, and so you can
Yes.
understand full details on that.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
I hope I
wanna
do have
go
your
to-
number.
Okay. Kenny, if you want to shoot your number to Brother Pat, or you can, or if you're with your permission, I can send it to him.
Automatic.
All right, let me go to Brother RC.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat, for a good presentation. Like Brother Kenny,
And who is RC?
RC is Rafael Chigarino.
Okay, thank you, Brother.
Yes. So I feel like these are the kinds of projects that make us relevant. Otherwise, we just become a group of men who talk and on a Sabbath afternoon and they go away. So like Brother Kenny, what I was looking for was the vehicle that will take this from just being a talk show to something that will produce results. Those pictures, they tell a story about the people who were produced by this institution and where they are now and what is in their hearts as they drive by this place and look at this place and say, this is where we come from. I am not alumni of Logos, but I think we all have to join in on this one. Now, when somebody says this project will cost 7,000 or 10,000, it looks like a insurmountable number. But when you divide the numbers like what Pat just did there and say we are 100 here, we need 7,000, we will just need $70 from each person. Then you see this is doable. Like I won't feel that I gave $50. Like that is not going to be anything. But we have to have that vehicle, that methodology to say, how do we get these $50 from 100 people? Otherwise, when we are done this afternoon, who is going to do this? $50, I could send it to somebody right now. And I know every man on this forum could spare $50. They would not miss it on Monday. But the thing is, even though it's that simple, not having water at Logos is a big deal. So how do we move from now to say we need 100 people to put $50? Right? That's the thing that I'm looking for. Otherwise, these talks and these shows will go on, and we are not relevant to anything that is as important as this particular issue here. So that's what I'm looking for. Before we log out and go away, let's create that sort of consensus and vehicle that this can and will be done by month, and a borehole will be pumping water because it's just $50 from each of us. Thanks.
Powerful. Thank you, Brother Chigariro. What you're really doing is saying, hey, we have gotten the information, gentlemen. Now it's time for action, right? Thank you for mobilizing us into action. I will put on I'm pulling it up now. I'm going to share the information on how you can make a contribution right now to this cause. If you are on the EMM chat, that information is also available on the chat, but I think it got buried by other messages. So I'll give this time to Pastor Dube, you had the question, and I'll go ahead and share the vehicle on how you can make a donation right now.
Well, I just wanted to thank Brother Fuzane for sharing about his history. I've personally learned some things that I didn't know about him, though, you know, we meet every now and then. Thank you for that. And also, thank you for highlighting the need that is there in Logos. I think this is very helpful. Yeah, I was moved more than you know, the message that was just posted. It was just a message. Now it's more than a message. Thank you for those areas of you know, the presentation that you highlighted yourself, and also the project that you are working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Dube. So, gentlemen, I just posted a flyer here with information on how you can make a contribution. If you would like to make a contribution to directly through the EMM treasurer, his information is in the WhatsApp group. I will make sure that this is also posted immediately after this meeting. So you can contribute by Zelle, you can contribute by Cash App, or it's called Cash App, yeah, Cash App, or you can do it by Apple Pay or Google Pay. We have several ways, or you can reach out directly to Brother Pat. All right, as we are coming to a close, I'll just take one more question if anybody has a further question or comment, and then I would ask Brother Pat to just make his final appeal, and then we'll close with a word of prayer.
Brother Pat.
Yes.
I would like to know, you have reached some great heights in life. I want to know, who were your life's icons that you looked up to? Because I believe those are people that drove you and gave you encouragement along the way. Who are those?
Good question. First is my late father. He was born in 1920 and lived until he was 99 years old. He never drove a car, but he made sure all his children would live to drive their own cars. He was a business person, meaning he ran a store in the rural areas, and from that little store, he managed to send us all to Luakwelo Mission. Sometimes there will be 3 girls at one time, sometimes there will be 2, but it was quite demanding for him, and he was able to do that. He deprived himself to drive a car so that we would all go to school and be successful. So that taught me that there are some sacrifices that we need to make in life so that other things can succeed. Also, he was very, very prayerful. He prayed for everything. He was here in California and there was wind, so we're trying to check what was going on in the roof. So I climbed the ladder. And then when I'm just up, he says, did you push me? I said, no, I'm up the ladder and you're down holding my ladder. He's like, okay, that means this wind is just too strong. Let's go back and pray. We went inside and we prayed. After that, the wind died. Wow. Literally, the wind died, and I was awe-stricken. He did the same thing when there was an outbreak of ants in Donza. Ants were all over, bedroom, kitchen, everywhere there were ants, church ants. And he held a season of prayer and those ants went away. So I believe with this project that we are looking at and how insurmountable it could be. But at the same time, we know how easy we can blow $50. When I take my 3 kids with me to buy some food from a restaurant, we burn about $60 or more. So $50 is actually nothing in our days, in our daily living now. And I pray that the Spirit of the Lord will move us to make this project successful. And from there, we can always point at it that we did something. I know we've done something before, and I have confidence in our men because the Lord is blessing you.
Powerful. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.